Now we've moved down into the floodplain, and of course this whole area used to be rice fields and vegetable farming. Now there's very little of that still happening, and the area has become it's just sort of gone to wild. So it's all just a swampy land, but very very wet, and we can see where the water buffalo have been making their wallows again in some places. Now what's happened? The traditional villages, right? Traditional villages were usually built just outside the floodplain, on the edge of the hills, just at the point where where that crux point where you come down from the hill and you enter the floodplain, so that village was close to the feng shui woodland behind it, close to the rice fields and the productive land in front, had permanent water supply, and would not get flooded. Now, of course, what's happening now, of course, is that the fields are being built on with these modern so-called village houses, and they're not being built according to the traditional layout of the traditional villages. So these houses are being built willy-nilly all over the place, and in the very, in the deepest part of the floodplain. Well, it's called a floodplain, for a reason, because it floods. When there's stacks of water, that's what floodplains do. So then these houses get threatened by flooding, and then of course about 20 years ago they came in and they boxed in the stream. So you can see that the stream is now boxed into this ugly, horrible concrete structure, in order to stop it from meandering around, and in order to, in theory, stop it from flooding over the edge and affecting the houses. Apart from the fact that this is a huge amount of money that's been spent to control the river, of course this totally destroys its ecological, well, not totally, but largely destroys its ecological value, because fish can't migrate up and down the stream, eels can't migrate up and down the stream, animals can't get in and out of the sides of the river. So this is really, ecologically, it's a disaster. It's not looking too bad at the moment because they're not maintaining it. They haven't cleaned it for a long time, so it's actually trying to return to its natural state. But anyway, so this is the situation in the floodplain. We now have a surplus of water. We have too much water. Now this would, of course, in its natural state, be massive forest. This would, this would be huge subtropical rainforest, and but of course all of that was chopped down hundreds and hundreds of years ago, and the land used for rice farming. So this is a totally artificial landscape that we see here.